Yes.
No, it's just a different feeling. Maybe one day I can take you out for a ride. I'm serious. we are attempting, this is news for you, we are attempting a record run on Thursday. The record is 14 hours and 13 seconds.
From where to where?
From Sydney to Brisbane. And we predict we will do it in 10 hours. And if we do it in 10 hours, we'll break it. This is my goal. If we don't do it in 10 hours, I'll give $1,000 to your favourite charity.
Fine.
If I do it in under 10 hours, you give $1,000 to the Children's Hospital in Brisbane.
All right. Okay. Hadn't heard of that. I hope my wife's not watching. Yeah. All right. But 10 hours, that's faster than the boat, faster than the coaches.
I should hope so. It's 110 miles an hour.
Wow. Okay. All right. And good luck with yoga.
Thank you very much.
And nice to talk to you. Good luck at the Thursday.
Tomorrow. 2 days. Thursday coming.
All right. Either way, we'll give it to the Children's Hospital. Eh?
Okay.
Thank you. Would you please thank Stefan for it? After break, comedian Bobby Dennis. He's next.
It was a case of second-time lucky for hairdressing tycoon Steve Ackery when he finally broke the Sydney to Brisbane powerboat record. It took Stefan just over 8 hours to complete the 1,000-kilometre journey. That's 6 hours faster than the previous record.
2 weeks ago, Stefan was forced to abort his first assault on the 10-year-old record when bad weather reduced visibility. Today, with conditions more suited to a marathon attempt, it was a confident four-man crew that steamed out of Sydney Heads early this morning. Off to a good start, the race record never looked in doubt until a ruptured turbo hose threatened to end the dream run.
We had one little incident in Coffs Harbour. It took about 15 minutes to repair, and that's it. Apart from that, it's great.
Averaging a speed of around 130 kilometres per hour, Stefan eventually crossed the finish line at 2:30 this afternoon. The water police then towed him to his awaiting family and friends where the champagne was flowing. Next on Stefan's agenda was to be the Kuwaiti Powerboat Championships. That has now been abandoned. Sharon Gadella for the 10 Evening News.
Flamboyant hairdresser Stefan has unofficially slashed more than 6 hours from the Sydney to Brisbane powerboat record at his second attempt. Today's 150-kilometre-an-hour dash up the coast took just 8 hours and 8 minutes. And in contrast to the aborted first attempt, there were only minor problems. The only time Stefan's million-dollar twin-hulled racer slowed was just outside Coffs Harbour with a ruptured tank hose, but it was quickly repaired, and from there on a new record was always going to be his. The previous mark of just over 14 hours had stood for 10 years, but so quick did the big pink machine travel today, the crew could have turned around and almost completed a return leg before the time had elapsed.
The next goal is to break 7 hours.
So you're going to have a crack at this again?
Oh yeah, I'll wait till somebody else breaks this one, and then I'll do it again.
Stefan didn't seek official sanction for today's bid, but he claims anyone can set a record going from point A to point B. And the fact that powerboat authorities won't recognise the high-speed marathon didn't seem to sour the taste of the champagne as dozens of well-wishers emerged to welcome home the four-man crew at the Riverside Centre this afternoon.
Steve Ackery today smashed the Sydney to Brisbane powerboat record by 6 hours. With almost perfect weather conditions, the pink aluminium cat covered the 800 kilometres in 8 hours and 8 minutes. Ackery was making his second try at the record. 2 weeks ago, he was forced to abandon an attempt 2 hours out of Brisbane because of bad weather. Today, he left Sydney at 6:30 and within 4 hours had reached the halfway mark at Coffs Harbour. After a final sprint down the Brisbane River to the finish, the record was his. The time could have been quicker. The boat was slowed by a blown turbo hose.
We had one little incident in Coffs Harbour. It took about 15 minutes to repair, and that's it. Apart from that, it's great.
The twin 1,000 horsepower turbo engines never reached full throttle, but still pushed the cat to 150 kilometres an hour.
But in a marathon like this, I mean, you don't sprint. It's a long way, and the objective is to finish.
Ackery and his $1 million Jaeger were going to race in Kuwait soon.
Thank you.
That's been cancelled, and instead he'll team up with water skiers and attempt to break the Sydney to Newcastle ski record.
Hairdresser Steve Ackery had a memorable day away from the salon, out on the water between Sydney and Brisbane. His powerboat slashed the record between the cities by 6 hours, although sporting authorities won't recognise the effort. The Queensland businessman left Sydney in his $1 million vessel at 6:30 this morning, cruising at the top speed of 150 kilometres an hour. 8 hours and 6 minutes later, the 2,000 horsepower machine raced into Brisbane. Water Police provided a last-minute escort. His next challenge was to be the World Powerboat Championships in Kuwait. That adventure has now been cancelled.
A fortnight ago,